Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mario Cristobal Show. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr., University of Miami head coach Mario Cristobal. Hurricanes coming up with the Louisville Cardinals on a Friday night game, 7 o'clock kickoff, Miami and Louisville. But first, we look back. The Hurricanes win against Florida State, 28-22. State champs again, Coach. Congratulations on a dominating victory.
Good to be able to go and handle business in state, and once that's handled, of course, all focus on to the rest of the conference play, and excited to get after it.
Coach, I'm going to go here first. How about all those Hurricane fans that made it to Tallahassee when you ran out of the tunnel to come on, and then after the game to celebrate with you? It's great to see the orange and green and white in the stands.
No doubt, strong presence, felt loud, in the right area too, right around the tunnel, and then some on the field. I saw a bunch of them on the field. But anyways, all in all, just it's awesome to see that kind of support. They've been awesome all year at Hard Rock, and our first road trip, they certainly they did a great job.
Coach, when you look back at the Florida State game, where do you think you won that game? Was it across the board, in the trenches, on the perimeter, a combination of all of it?
In combination of all of it, I think we've won it, in the off season. I think we've won it in the trenches. I thought the guys out in the perimeter, whenever they overstacked boxes, took advantage of just one-on-one matchups, and when they didn't, we took advantage of just going head-to-head, mano-a-mano. So, and it was, the shame of it is we could have been up 35-3 with the ball, but those things happen, and those things happen because we need to get better at it. We need to coach it better. We need to practice it better to get a better result, but looking forward to just improving and putting together an entire game of Hurricane football.
First 5 games of the season, you've defined Malachi Tony as a bona fide playmaker, and then of course you look down the list and you've got C.J. Daniels and other guys as well. But they just seem to start with confidence. The plays get bigger.
They do, and it's because of the way they practice. I mean, they walk into a game with a lot of confidence, not just due to some false bravado. They legitimately feel like they are ready to take a routine play and turn it into a big play just by playing really hard.
It's interesting, the game swung with two true freshmen. Fitzgerald, the interception, and the very next play, Malachi Tony, back-to-back true freshmen, back-to-back plays, true freshmen making game-changing plays.
And on that play, the interception, a great job by Armando Blunt. He's double teamed and he still pushes and presses the pocket and gets a piece of the quarterback to make that ball come out with a little bit less zip, which hung it up perfectly for Bryce to come over and pick it off.
Coach, Bain and Mesidor are deserve to be said. Every time you say Bain, you need to say Mesidor. Every time you need to say Mesidor, Bain. They just set the tempo, and I noticed after the game, both of those guys had left everything on the field, just exhausted, but it showed with their production.
Well, you know what? The games that we're going to be playing in, it's going to require your absolute best and whatever it takes from everybody. And sometimes those rep counts get really high, and it is what it is, man. There was a day and age where none of us came out of the game, right? That's far and gone. And also want to point out David Blay, who's been playing some really good football up front, really stout, really strong. And, sometimes the stat line doesn't show it because this defense is based on doing your job, which sometimes the other guys get the stats. He has done a great job, and he's only getting better.
It's amazing. There were 40-some passes in the game and no holding calls on Florida State. I don't know how that happened, but at any rate, defensively, for 3 quarters for sure, I thought it was one of the most dominating defensive performances University of Miami's had in a long time. Your team was swarming everywhere and had the 3 takeaways for the 3 quarters, and things got a little muddy in the 4th quarter, but for 3 quarters, it was incredible.
No doubt, and really almost had a 4th takeaway, right. Had it right in our hands, and it got away from us. But the level of violence and physicality that our guys played with and the levels of communication and swarm were really, really high, And then towards the end of the game, we just got to do a better job on offense and sustain drives, right? Not shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties and a couple of errors. But all in all, yes, really, really pleased with the way our guys came out to play dominant football.
Coach, special teams, as always, is a big part of this game. You did a great job on the onside kicks, making sure that Miami got the football, but also the punt game was great, and you just kept building in all 3 phases.
Yeah, you practice the hands team, but you never know how often it's going to come about, and all of a sudden you end up using it 3 times. Right on the road, and lining up and recognizing exactly what's coming. is the most important part. And then from there, just play ball, right? And make sure that we get our hands on the ball and covered up and that we're good to go. So, but just great job overall, minus the one punt that came out a little sideways. Dylan Joyce just continues to do a great job for us. And Adam Booker as well. I mean, the entire punt team just getting down there and covering a dangerous returner was really great to see.
Carson Beck, 20 of 27, 241 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them for 20 yards or more. He was excellent.
He was, and it was. We had a dry field.
It's the first time he's had a dry ball.
Yeah, we had good weather, and winds were under 25 miles per hour. So, those guys, they're really good players. Carson does an unbelievable job of preparation, and it was good to see those guys just go out there and aggressively execute the plan. And what can you say? Those plays certainly they changed the momentum in a hurry.
The Mario Cristobal Show is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Both Lofton and, of course, Bauman, 6 catches combined, and they moved the chains and were a big part of the offense again.
No doubt. And those guys are now healthy, and they are certainly playing at a very physical level, a higher level, and you can expect their roles to just get bigger and bigger. They've always been such an integral part of our offensive system, so glad to see those guys touch the ball and make plays.
You're 5 games in, so some metrics are starting to show up now, more of a sample size. One of them that jumps out to me is you convert 47% on third down, and the opponent's converting less than 30% on third down. When there's that wide margin, that's usually very favorable to a team, which so far I think has been very helpful, and that trend continues. Those are winning trends.
They are, and we want to be over 50% from a conversion standpoint, even lower than that from a defensive side of the ball. So, again, some really positive stuff and some progress. But brother, we got a long ways to go. We've had a great week of work so far, and we'll continue. And we're ready to go play our best football.
Coach, another stat or conversation that comes up week after week is explosives by offense, takeaways by defense. If you can win both those categories, it certainly increases your percentage of victory.
Without a doubt. When you make an explosive offensive play, your chances for touchdowns, I mean, they exponentially improve. And not everyone can methodically drive the ball down the field. We feel that when we're hitting on all cylinders, we can. We've shown the ability to be routine oriented and do things, but those explosive plays certainly open things up. And sometimes it's not just the long pass, it's the short pass that turns into a long gain. It's a routine run that ends up breaking out there and whatnot. So, and then of course defensively, when you limit those, it changes just the entire energy, right? Not only of the defense, but of the team. And we're certainly doing a much better job of that, and just got to keep getting better.
I did want to hit on, I feel like your mentality is attack, 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 and get a reward. Went for it twice on fourth down. One of them led to a touchdown, and then another on the fourth down was a touchdown.
Well, I mean, we study from a situation standpoint very diligently, and we're kind of wired going into a game what we want to do, what we're willing to do. And as the game starts, you start analyzing the circumstances and the situations and the personnel battles. You start assessing, okay, we feel really good about this matchup or that matchup, or maybe we don't. And so that lends to make you teeter on one side or the other. Those were complete goes for us. And our guy, you just saw the look in their eyes. They wanted to get after them. They want to get after this team. They want to play at a high level and put the game in their hands, and they made the most of it.
Coach Wesley Basaint, in all phases that he was in, and every single week really this entire season, he's playing like a senior. And it's important.
It is. Wesley, the added size, the increased levels of conditioning, the coaching that he's getting right now. The legitimate just hands-on technique, fundamentals, eye discipline, alignment assignments, communication. What that entire linebacking crew is getting from Coach Heatherman is next level stuff. So you see the improvements weekly from these guys, and you see their appetite for improvement also increase. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
I thought going into this game, we talked about it last week on the show, to be a little bit of a battle for identity, your side being the physical side, and Florida State with a lot of misdirection, we'll call it, trick plays. And your team was ready for all of it. There was nothing in there that really you didn't get bamboozled at all.
They hide the ball well. You know, they really do. I mean, you're playing triple option football plus more on every single play, and they do a really good job. You know, in certain parts of the field, it's hard to tell what they're doing because they've been so diverse over the years in that system. But I felt our guys, just as a game, you know, after that first drive, just got their cleats in the ground, had a really good sense of our game plan versus theirs, and executed at a really high level.
Another young man that gets better every single game is Zach Poyser. He came up with a forced fumble, but just makes play after play. But also at that position, consistency is key.
And he's been physical. You know, he's run the alley and gotten downhill and knocked people back on really important down and distance situations. An incredible teammate, human being, and competitor and worker. Awesome to be around that guy all the time. Sky's the limit for ZP. Glad to see him continually just improve, get better. He's on his way to, sky's the limit for him, man. He's awesome.
What's better than a first down? 0 down. Go to AutoNation now to shop a large selection of cars and trucks with 0 down payment available. Find your next car now. Visit AutoNation.com today. I do have to mention Keontae Scott had a whale of a game.
Yeah.
11 tackles. I think he had a sack in there as well. This guy he loves being a Miami Hurricane so much. But boy, he's getting better every night, every game out.
He sure is. Fast and physical, you know, a lot like we're just talking about ZP. Keontae is his sense, his nose for the football, his intuition, his just natural football instincts, and coupled with leadership abilities, high effort and physicality guy, really playing at a high level. And another guy that his best football is ahead of him. You know, he's just getting started. He's improved, and he's always hungry for more. You look at him, you look at Poyser, you look at Jacoby Thomas. Those three guys are really playing well together. And if you talk to them right now, they'll tell you they have a lot of things they got to work on and improve. So they've pushed hard all week long, and we're looking forward to us getting better.
Coach, your offensive coordinator, Shannon Dawson, and his ability to work a game plan, ran the football extremely well, threw it when you needed to, but also dropped in the nice little flea flicker that paid big dividends.
No doubt. Sudden change, and hit him with a big play right away. Called it aggressively, and just some really unique adjustments, just studying them, what they do, and some things they have done at the previous stops that we felt really, really good about, you know, because we didn't have a very high offensive play count, you know, so yards per play, scoring per play per drive was pretty high, and the senseless penalty. I mean, it's a shame because that was one of the more impressive, I would say, individual efforts. But the fact that the offensive line blocked so well, that the quarterback went all the way through his progression to get back to in essence, a check down on that late mesh opening was really neat to see. You know, that's routine football turning into a big play. But we have to eliminate those penalties because those penalties are, number one, they're unacceptable, and number two, they can get you hurt.
Putting a bow tie on Florida State before we move on to Louisville. You're 5-0, but the win over Florida State, state champions, back-to-back wins over FSU. What kind of impact does that have for you and your program?
Well, I mean, it just validates a lot of the stuff that we talked about when we got here. You know, recruiting is a vicious world, right? And I think you know, we focus on us. We are always going to focus on us. But when we arrive, it felt like everybody was focusing on taking shots at Miami because they already had been at their programs a little bit longer and had established themselves a little bit more. So to go out and do that against our state rivals, which we respect everybody, but we're all focused on winning, it speaks volumes. And it also makes a statement, especially to guys that are playing here in the state of Florida. And at the same time, we quickly put that to bed and move on because we have more goals and that are right around the corner that we got to tend to, and that's all we're worried about. And we'll reflect on this more at the end of the season or whatnot, but right now it's full throttle, eyes forward.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. For this week's high performance moment presented by Kia, we're going back to back with the freshmen. You talk about complimentary football, Don. Here's the 4th down interception by Fitzgerald.
Well, Joe, first of all, it starts with the quarterback pressure, and then Fitzgerald playing center field locates the football and then almost takes it all the way back. Does a great job on the return. get some guys involved in the blocking for him, but he does a phenomenal job. Pick number 3 for Fitzgerald, only halfway through the season.
And on the next play, Malachi Tony on the flea flicker.
Yeah, fantastic job by Big Fletch. He takes the handoff, flips it back to the quarterback, and then picks up a block. So it's very simple to talk about how these plays happen, but they're very hard to execute. You'll see right there also the offensive line giving Carson Beck all the time in the world.
The Miami Hurricanes offense and defense take home this week's high performance moment presented by Kia. All right, it is Miami and Louisville Friday night at Hard Rock Stadium. Friday night football. Hurricanes and the Louisville Cardinals 18th meeting. Miami leads the series 12-4-1. There was one tie, but this Louisville team comes in 4-1. This is a very good Louisville team. What jumps out to you about the Cardinals?
Well, we can honestly say they're as good as any team that we have played or will play on our schedule. They are in the top 20 in just about every statistical category, and I say in the upper part of that top 20. Offensively and defensively, extremely aggressive and efficient. And when you sum it all up, you go down to what they do in the red zone, right? The money area, the money downs. They're top 5 and top 10 on both sides of the ball. And they're complemented by a very effective and explosive special teams unit. I know they lead the conference in top 5 in the country in punt returns and up there in kickoff returns as well, and their coverage team. So what you're looking at is a big, fast, athletic team that plays with great physicality, and they're really, really well coached. I mean, the play callers are as good as you'll see in college football.
Big quarterback battle, Miami versus Louisville. Miller Moss, last 2 games, well over 300 yards. Guy comes from USC and is a big, powerful quarterback. They're number 26 right now in the nation. He is with total yards at 1,300 yards so far.
Yeah, he was a great player in high school and at USC as well. Found an opportunity at Louisville, so a tremendous addition for them. And he's complemented by some unbelievable playmakers now in the backfield, out on the perimeter at the tight end position. A big athletic and physical offensive line as well. And schematically, it's a large menu. You know, it's a large menu on both sides. We both have a couple weeks to prepare, right? We both are coming off of bye week. So all in all, tremendous opportunity for the Canes.
The playmakers. Chris Bell is a big receiver. His last 2 games have been monster games. And Isaac Brown, the running back, if you lose him, he'll leave you in a vapor trail. Those 2 guys are 2 of the best playmakers in this league.
No doubt, and more than in this league in the country. And they've got a bunch more of them. A lot of South Florida ties as well. It'll be a very intense and physical game, and certainly we got to prepare to be at our best.
This fall, the Canes are taking over paradise again. Canes Weekend in the Bahamas returns October 31st to November 2nd, right in the heart of Nassau. Choose your vibe, the bold, laid-back energy of the Point Margaritaville Beach Resort, or the timeless charm of British colonial Nassau. 2 beachfront escapes, 1 legendary weekend. Enjoy special rates starting at just $159 per night, plus big-time fan energy. Lock it in now at Bahamas.com/Canes Weekend. Terms and conditions apply.
Braun puts a lot of focus on the offense since he's an offensive guy, but their defense, 3 interceptions against Pittsburgh, and they've done a great job since day one. That defensive coordinator's done phenomenal with them. They create a lot of problems.
Really disruptive and very multiple. I mean, they get in and out of certain fronts. They stem. They'll be in 4 down one play, then they'll be in bear, then they'll be in odd tight. And then it's pressure, then it's disguised pressure, then it's a sim pressure. They give you a lot, and they do a great job communicating. So the guys are in the right spots, and the passing windows are very tight. They're really good tacklers as well. Just a very impressive outfit.
These linebackers seem to be pretty rugged, right? Quinn, Watts, Perry, maybe 3 of the best linebackers you'll see.
They are, and again, just they're all of the same kind of mold where they are fast or athletic, but they play physical. But they line up well, they communicate really well. That's what stands out because they've played against some really good offenses and they've done a great job.
Ron English, the defensive coordinator, I think over the last 2 years, he's only allowed an average of 23 points a game. That's very impressive.
Yeah, and he's had a tremendous career, a lot of experience, seen a lot of ball. We've now played against each other a few times, right? So again, the weeks of preparation, you got to be completely dialed in and focused on making sure you prepare to the best of your abilities.
I mean, you look at their numbers. Virginia's got a nice offense. They held Virginia to 237 yards, and that game went overtime.
No doubt. And you saw some of the plays that end up tilting the game were kind of freak plays, right? Turnovers that ended up going the other way. I think it was 14 defensive points scored by Virginia. So all in all, again, and we've seen it, and we're going to continue to study it and prepare. But they're an excellent football team.
And Coach, it is the battle of the boots. Coach Schnellenberger was a coach, of course, at Miami and then at Louisville, and there's some bragging rights that come with the win in this football game.
100%. It's become a really big part of the game, and honoring Coach Schnellenberger and whatnot. So everyone knows at this time of year it's conference football. All over the country, right? I mean, it's been now 2 weeks in a row, 22, 24 plus games that came down to one possession. So everyone's got to be at their best.
Last thing on this, you mentioned their special teams. I don't know that I've ever seen this. The punt returner is averaging 24 yards a return. That's Colin Lacey. We got a good dose of him a year ago. How do you contain him?
Well, you got to make sure that, number one, you give yourself a chance with the right operation time, the right hang time, and location of the ball, right? The other part is you got to make sure you protect first, because they will and can block punts, and that you get down there and then you spread that net in a manner where you can corral him, because if he finds an opening, not going to catch that guy. He's really fast.
Coach, we saw the last two games been rival games, Florida State. We've seen some of your emotion on the sideline, your passion. We can feel your passion on this show, but do you think that energy that you have, the passion for this program, you feel like now that's getting into this program, into your players' DNA?
Well, I mean, I never think it's about me. I'm in this role as a servant leader, and I'm part of a team, and I'm surrounded by coaches that work their butts off, and people in academics and down in development and in the training room, strength and conditioning, and we all, it's one philosophy there and one culture. There aren't any subcultures, so to speak. So we all feel like we're improving, and we also all feel that there's a lot of improvement to be made. So we like to stay along those lines. We like to stay along the lines of just get all the noise and nonsense and all the other distraction stuff out of the way and attend to what's important. That's making sure that all of our focus is on preparing to the best of our abilities all the time and being great teammates and colleagues, because that combination right there will give us our best chance of success.
UHealth is accelerating access to world-class care. With a new facility now open in Doral, UHealth Seoul Miami Medical Center opening in North Miami. The University of Miami Health System is redefining the future of healthcare across South Florida. As the region's only academic-based health system, UHealth brings top specialists, advanced research, and cutting-edge treatments directly to the communities it serves. Visit umiamihealth.org to learn more. Your assistants, I think they're both excellent play callers, but also designer of plays, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what, we have great coordinators. And it starts with the fact that they're great people and they're team guys. There's no ego involved there, and they have great assistant coaches. So those are great think tanks. I mean, the ideas, the concepts that come to the table, and not all of them are used, but we all know that once we decide on something, we leave that table, whether we agree or disagree, we leave in uniform, right? We leave all on the same page. And so that collaboration has led to some really good game plans and to some success for our team. And most importantly, some trust and confidence from our players in the plan, knowing that we're going to help put them in the best position to make plays.
Coach, back to the Virginia game against Louisville, they had 10 receivers against Virginia. That spreads it out as much as anybody in college football. But the defense had 9 tackles for loss. So both sides are applying pressure.
Just really disruptive. And the way that they call it, that scheme lends to being disruptive and getting penetration and creating negative plays. You have to be airtight in your communication and your blocking schemes, both in run and pass.
It's Friday Night Football, a little bit of a curveball here, Friday Night Football. So calling on all Canes and all businesses to let Cane fans out early. It's Friday Night Football at Hard Rock Stadium. And of course, you have accurately made that the asylum, and we want to see that on Friday night.
It's you've seen what an impact that's had on our game so far this season. I mean, and that's exactly what it turns into. It turns into an asylum, and one that just creates an atmosphere that gets our guys really, really juiced up, and that has an impact, man. And we always want to make our community, our university, our people proud, and there's nothing better than coming out that tunnel and seeing all that juice and all that energy and making sure it stays there all the way through. So let's get it packed up and see everybody there on Friday.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. The very best of luck.
Always go Canes.
That's University of Miami head coach Mario Cristobal. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on the show.